Tell us about a time you've had to be resilient. And I would say it's not the easiest thing to talk about, but I think this year, the fact that Megan talked about it and we had other high profile people in the media who talked about it, I think it is important to talk about. And in 2006, I had a miscarriage. I was devastated. It really did mess up my mental health a lot, but I kind of got through a few months, got pregnant. 2007, had my daughter. 2009, was pregnant again, really thrilled, had a scan about 13 weeks, all was good. And then I was on air at a radio station called Key 103, one afternoon presenting a program, and I had some bleeding. And I thought, this doesn't feel good. All right, obviously. Phoned the midwife who said, look, sometimes these things happen. As long as there isn't any more, I think you'll be okay. Just because the universe does this sometimes. I actually had a meeting after my show that day with 5 Live, BBC Radio 5 Live. And I had been trying for 2.5 years to get to 5 Live. I'd get a meeting with them and get my foot in the door. And so what happens is, just before I go into the meeting, I pop to the loo again, and I am very clearly having a miscarriage right before I go into this meeting that I've waited for years to have. And I thought at that point, well, what do? Do I say, I'm sorry, I'm having a miscarriage, I need to go to hospital? Or do I go into the meeting that I've waited 2.5 years to do thinking, well, this is going to happen anyway, I might as well take the meeting? And I did the latter. And I just sort of almost separated myself off from what was going on in my career and my life because I've been waiting for this moment. And then I decided to kind of fall apart afterwards. And, the next day when I did get to the hospital on time, I'd find out the baby had died a few days before. And this is something I then went through over the next 9-10 months, 3 or 4 times. It was a horrendous time, but it was also the time, really bizarrely, that my career then really started to take off. So I was kind of battling these 2 things going on in my life, and I did separate them. And I suppose the reason I'm sharing this story is number one, I think, as we've just realized earlier on in this podcast, you never know what is going on in someone's life. You never know what they are facing, what they are battling. To a lot of people I knew, it was like, oh, look at you, you're just getting a job on 5 Live, or everything's going great in your world, because I didn't share it, because I couldn't, because I found it easier at the time not to share it. But I also think, especially as women, but as men as well, because my husband was amazing through this, we really are so strong. If you'd said to me, oh yes, this is going to take off, but you're going to go through all this in your life at the same time, I think, oh no, I can't handle that, I'm not going to do that. We are strong. And I really remember being at Key 103, and one of the younger guys who was there said, did you see Cheryl Cole on TV last night? She just found out that her husband, Ashley Cole, had allegedly cheated on her. And she stood up on stage and she sang, fight for my love, fight for this love. Isn't she amazing? She stood up and sang that, knowing what was happening in her marriage. Isn't she strong and incredible? And I think at that point, I didn't say anything to him, but I thought, you have no idea how strong people are, actually. And you have no idea how strong women are. And that's just something to really remember, that we are more resilient than we know we are, or we think we are. As you've shared Emma Mason today as well on the podcast. So just have a think about what other people are going through. We never really truly know, but know that you will get through pretty much anything life shows at you.